Senator Rennick.
Thank you, Acting Deputy Chair. And I'm not sure what Senator Green is smoking, but whatever it is, she needs to get off it. It's not.
Sorry, Senator. Can you please resume your seat? Senator Green, point of order.
Acting Deputy President. I think the senator should withdraw that and apologise.
I would. It was a reflection on a colleague in the. I'm sorry, I'm still speaking. It was a reflection on a colleague in the chamber. It'd be helpful if you could withdraw, please.
I withdraw.
Thank you, Senator.
I withdraw. And the speech we just heard by Senator Green there was riddled with a number of factual inaccuracies. The idea that Labor has kept assets in Queensland's hands is complete and utter rubbish. We saw under the Bligh-Beattie government the reckless sale of Queensland's infrastructure. The Port of Brisbane was sold for 6 times earnings, the forestry plantations for 5 times earnings. The solar and wind farms back then were sold. And we should never forget that it was the great Sergio Bjork-Peterson who built the coal-powered fire stations that are the backbone of the eastern states' energy grid. And today we have the Southern Interconnector that basically sends energy down to the southern states and keeps the lights on in this country. Because in 1988, at the end of the 89, at the end of the National Coalition government, we had the cheapest energy in the world. And that is something we need to reflect on this week, because this budget was a show about nothing. It reminded me of the Seinfeld episode in the Hamptons when George Costanza got out of the pool and all we saw was shrinkage, because that is the best that this budget could come up with, was a measly $300 to offset the thousands of dollars rise in energy prices, a measly $6 a week. That is the best that Albanese could come up with. What a joke. What a joke.
Senator,
Prime Minister, here we go.
Yep. Rennick.
Come on.
I would ask you to refer to those in the other place with their correct title.
That is the best the Prime Minister Albanese could come up with was the measly $6 a week to deal with the cost of living that has risen by tens of thousands of dollars under his term of government. And here they are claiming credit for the tax cuts. These tax cuts were initially introduced in our first week in Parliament back in July 2019. And over the long term, they're actually going to cost Australians more due to bracket creep. And of course, that's what the Labor government don't like to talk about, is the fact that they're giving a little bit back now that's going to cost you more later. Well, mark my words, this government or this party, this side of the chamber, will be going to the next election with more income tax cuts. I've been openly critical of the fact that we didn't cut taxes, income taxes enough when we were in government in the last 9 years, and it is something that I've advocated for through every backbench meeting I go to, is the lower income taxes, because it is the people in this country, the people that get out of bed every day and put their nose to the grindstone, are the people that are going to drag us out of the mess and drag us out of this inflation mess that we have got into. But yeah, in relation to Senator Green's, what would we like to cut? And she's accusing the coalition of wanting to cut things. Yeah, we do want to cut things. We want to cut immigration, because that is completely unsustainable. The growth in immigration from 200,000 people to 500,000 people has been completely unmatched by the supply of new dwellings. But the other thing we'd like to also cut and get rid of is the $23 billion subsidy to wealthy billionaires for green energy. I mean, this is the sad reality of it, is that they're going to give the hard-working Australian families $6 a week, and yet they're going to turn around and give wealthy billionaires like Andrew Forrest and his green hydrogen fantasy billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And that is a complete and utter joke. If you really wanted to lower energy prices in this country, you would get on and continue to build baseload power stations, especially coal, because that's readily accessible now. But Labor would also abolish the nuclear prohibition in this country. We need to be adopting nuclear as soon as possible, because we have a vast abundance of resources in this country. And why on earth would you turn your back on homegrown resources like uranium, coal and gas, only to turn around and subsidise billionaires to import foreign-made renewables? Foreign-made renewables. And it's a bit rich for the Labor Party to be claiming that somehow the coalition doesn't want to bring back manufacturing. It was the Button Plan of 1985 that sent manufacturing offshore. How could we ever forget that? How could we ever forget that? So if you want to bring back manufacturing onshore in this country, back our baseload energy supplies of coal, gas and uranium.
Authorised G. Rennick, LNP Chermside.